Most people think disaster will never happen to them until it does. And when it does, they have nothing. But what if I told you that you could be completely ready in just one afternoon? Today, we're breaking down the 10 essential items every household needs to survive an emergency. You'll learn exactly what FEMA recommends, why each item matters, and how to build your kit without breaking the bank. Plus, we're revealing the overlooked supplies that could literally save your life when it counts most. Whether you're dealing with hurricanes, wildfires, power outages, or pandemics, this video gives you the roadmap to protect your family. Stay until the end. We're finishing with a complete checklist you can use right now. Welcome back to Crisis Horizon, where we help you prepare for life's biggest challenges. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical safety information. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the most obvious truth. You can survive without food for weeks, but water, that's a different story. Dehydration becomes life-threatening in just a few days. And water is essential for so much more than just drinking. You need it for cooking, for hygiene, for basic comfort during a crisis. FEMA's recommendation is simple but clear. Store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. If you have a family of 5, that's 15 gallons minimum. That might sound like a lot, but it's manageable. Here's how to actually make this work. Start buying in bulk during your regular grocery runs. Pick up a gallon jug or 2 each time you shop. Over months, you'll build a solid supply without it feeling expensive. For larger quantities, invest in stackable 5 or 7 gallon containers. They're space efficient and reusable, so you can refill them if needed. Storage matters. Keep your water in a cool, dark place away from direct sunlight and chemicals. Avoid garages or sheds that get hot. Temperature swings can degrade the containers. Even bottled water has a shelf life, so rotate your supply every 6 to 12 months. Mark the date on each container with a permanent marker. And here's a pro tip. If disaster is imminent and you see it coming, fill your bathtub and any clean containers you have for extra reserves. You can treat that water for drinking if needed. Once you've secured your water, you need fuel for your body. When grocery stores are closed and supply chains are disrupted, your emergency food stash becomes your lifeline. FEMA recommends stocking at least 3 days worth of non-perishable food per person. For a family of 5, that's 45 meals. That might seem overwhelming, but you have options. Canned goods are your foundation. Beans, soups, meats, vegetables, fruits, most have a shelf life of 2 to 5 years. They're affordable, available everywhere, and they work. Meals ready to eat, or MREs, are another solid choice. The military uses them, hikers depend on them, and for good reason. They're compact, calorie-dense, and many include built-in heaters. You don't need to cook them, you just add water. Then there are freeze-dried meals. These are pricier up front, but they have an incredible shelf life, up to 25 years. You can buy them in bulk buckets, stack them in a closet, and forget about them until you need them. Here's the strategy. Build your supply gradually. Add a few extra items to each shopping trip. Don't try to buy everything at once. And don't forget the manual can opener. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but trust me, it's critical. Speaking of critical items, when the power goes out and cell towers are down, an emergency radio becomes your direct line to information that could save your life. FEMA recommends having a battery-powered or hand-crank radio, ideally with solar and USB charging options. Think about this. During Hurricane Sandy, many people missed out on aid and shelter simply because they had no way to receive updates. They didn't know where the emergency shelters were. They didn't know about rescue operations. They were isolated with no information. A good emergency radio can pick up AM and FM stations, NOAA weather channels, and emergency broadcasts. It keeps you informed about evacuation orders, shelter locations, and changing conditions. When you're shopping for a radio, look for multiple power options. Hand crank, solar, USB. You want redundancy. A built-in flashlight is incredibly useful, as is an emergency siren. Some models also include phone charging capability, which is valuable if your devices are running low. Reliable models to consider include the Voyager, Eaton Sidekick, and Running Snail. These are proven, dependable choices that won't let you down. Now let's talk about injuries, because they're common during disasters. Hospitals may be inaccessible or completely overwhelmed with patients. A well-stocked first aid kit is essential for treating everything from minor cuts to more serious wounds. FEMA recommends a comprehensive kit with adhesive bandages in various sizes, sterile gauze pads, medical tape, antiseptic wipes, and antibiotic ointment. Include tweezers, scissors, and gloves. Stock pain relievers, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and aspirin. Add a thermometer and burn cream. But don't stop there. Include burn gel, specifically for treating burns from fires or hot wire.
Add allergy medications like Benadryl, antidiarrheal medication, and cold and flu medicine. This is important. Ask your doctor for a 30-day supply of any prescription medications you take. During a crisis, pharmacies might be closed or unable to refill prescriptions. Having that backup supply could be the difference between managing your condition and facing a serious health crisis. Infection control supplies are often overlooked but absolutely critical. Stock extra antiseptics, gloves, and sterile tools. If there's a breakdown in sanitation systems, infection becomes a major threat. Being prepared to handle minor infections prevents them from becoming life-threatening. Here's an item that might seem trivial, but has saved countless lives. A whistle. It's small, it's cheap, and it works. During disasters like Hurricane Katrina, survivors who had whistles were able to alert rescuers far more effectively than those who relied on shouting or banging on things. Your voice gets hoarse, you get tired, but a whistle? It cuts through noise and travels farther than you'd expect. Attach one to your emergency kit, put one on your keychain, keep one in your go bag. It's one of the smallest items you'll ever add to your kit, but the potential impact is huge. Air quality deteriorates rapidly during certain disasters. Think about wildfires. The smoke can make the air almost unbreathable. Think about earthquakes that collapse buildings and create clouds of dust and debris. Chemical spills create toxic fumes. Protecting your lungs is absolutely crucial. FEMA recommends stocking dust masks, or even better, N95 respirators. But not all masks are created equal. Basic dust masks offer minimal protection, but they're better than nothing. Surgical masks primarily protect others from your droplets, but they offer limited filtration for you personally. N95 respirators are the gold standard. They filter out 95% of airborne particles, including smoke, dust, and pathogens. But here's the key. Fit matters. The mask has to seal tightly around your nose and mouth. If there are gaps, contaminated air gets in. Take time to get the right size and to test the fit on your face. Now we move to something that sounds unusual but is powerful: plastic sheeting and duct tape. This combination might sound like a DIY project, but it's a crucial tool for sheltering in place during chemical, biological, or radiological emergencies. Here's how it works. You choose an interior room with few windows and doors. Cover the vents, windows, and any gaps with plastic sheeting. Seal the edges with duct tape to create an airtight environment. This prevents contaminated air from entering your safe zone. It's simple, it's effective, and having these supplies on hand means you can execute this plan within minutes if needed. Hygiene is often overlooked, but it's vital for preventing illness and infection when plumbing fails and water stops flowing. Stock moist towelettes. Alcohol-based wipes are best for disinfection. They let you clean your hands, face, and surfaces when water isn't available. Grab heavy-duty garbage bags and plastic ties. These aren't just for trash. You use them for waste disposal when your toilet doesn't work. Line a 5-gallon bucket with a bag and you have a functional emergency toilet. Tie off the bag and store used bags in a sealed trash can until proper disposal is possible. It's not pleasant to think about, but it's practical and necessary. Here's another use for garbage bags that people don't think about. They're perfect for isolating contaminated items, storing wet clothes, or even serving as makeshift rain ponchos. They're cheap and versatile, so stock extras. Disasters can damage gas and water lines, creating fire hazards or contamination risks. The ability to shut off utilities quickly is absolutely crucial. FEMA recommends keeping a wrench and pliers in your emergency kit. Before an emergency strikes, learn where your gas and water shutoff valves are located. Practice turning them off with your tools. Get comfortable with the process so you're not fumbling during a crisis. Here's a practical tip. Attach a wrench to your gas meter with a zip tie. This ensures you have the right tool immediately accessible if you need it. A multi-tool can be a versatile backup for small repairs or adjustments, but don't rely on it alone. Have dedicated tools ready. You've stocked up on canned goods, but without a manual can opener, they're just expensive paperweights. This is why we mentioned it earlier. Include a sturdy manual can opener in your kit. Opt for stainless steel to prevent rust. Look for a comfortable grip and smooth cutting action. Military-style P38 or P51 openers are compact and work as backups, but they can be tough on the hands. Store your can opener with your food supplies, not separately. Consider having spares in your car, in your go bag, or in your camping gear. The more locations you have access to an opener, the better. Beyond FEMA's list, experienced preppers and survivalists recommend additional items that fill important gaps. These extras can make a significant difference in your comfort and survival. Extra utensils and mess kits might sound minor, but opening a can of food is only half the battle. You need something to eat it with. Keep a few sporks, spoons, or mess kits with your food stash. Eating with your hands or improvised utensils is inefficient and uncomfortable. Power banks and solar chargers aren't on FEMA's official list, but they're invaluable. Having a way to recharge your phone or radio can keep you connected and informed. Compact solar chargers and power banks are affordable and easy to store. In a crisis, a charged phone could help you contact family or get critical information. Hypothermia is a real risk during power outages, especially in winter. Emergency blankets made of mylar are lightweight, compact, and incredibly effective at retaining body heat. They take up minimal space in your kit but provide maximum value. Stock extras. They're inexpensive and more than one person might need warmth. Keep photocopies of important documents in a waterproof bag. IDs, insurance policies, medical records. In the aftermath of a disaster, access to these documents speeds up recovery dramatically. Insurance companies need proof of what you owned. Medical professionals need your history. Government agencies need your identification.
This simple step can save you weeks or months of hassle. ATMs and credit card systems may be down during a major disaster. Having cash on hand ensures you can buy supplies or pay for services when electronic payments aren't possible. Stock small bills, 5s, 10s, 20s. Businesses may not have change for large bills, or they may not accept them. Small bills are practical and useful. You don't need to buy everything at once. That's the mistake most people make. They get overwhelmed by the cost and the scope, so they do nothing. Instead, start with the most critical items: water, food, and first aid. Add to your kit as your budget allows. Over time, you'll build a comprehensive emergency kit without financial strain. Keep your emergency kit in a central, easily accessible location. Don't scatter items throughout your house. When time is critical, you want everything in one place. You want to be able to grab it and go, or to access it quickly if you're sheltering in place. Check expiration dates on food, water, and medications every 6 months. Replace items as needed. Update your kit to reflect changes in your household. New family members mean you need more supplies. A new pet means you need pet supplies in your kit. Life changes, and your kit should evolve with it. Familiarize yourself with your kit and tools before an emergency. Practice shutting off utilities. Figure out how your radio works. Set up your shelter-in-place room and get comfortable with the process. Run through it once or twice. The more comfortable you are with your supplies and your plan, the less stressful an actual emergency will be. Muscle memory matters. Familiarity reduces panic. History is full of stories where simple preparedness made the difference between safety and tragedy. During Hurricane Sandy, many New Yorkers went days without information or aid simply because they lacked a basic emergency radio. Families who had water, food, and sanitation supplies weathered the crisis with far less hardship than those caught unprepared. The lesson is clear. Preparedness isn't about paranoia. It's about peace of mind. When disaster strikes, you won't have time to run to the store or search for missing tools. The time to prepare is now. Emergency preparedness isn't just for survivalists or doomsday preppers. It's for everyone who wants to protect their loved ones and weather life's inevitable storms. By following FEMA's guidelines and adding a few extra tools, you can build a kit that covers the basics and then some. Start small, stay consistent. Remember that every item you add to your emergency kit is an investment in your family's safety and resilience. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Take action today and rest easier knowing you're ready for whatever comes your way. Here's your complete checklist. Water, 1 gallon per person per day for a 3-day minimum. Non-perishable food, 3-day supply per person. Manual can opener, emergency radio with battery, crank, or solar power. Comprehensive first aid kit, whistle, dust masks, preferably N95, plastic sheeting and duct tape, sanitation supplies including moist towelettes, garbage bags and ties, wrench and pliers for utility shutoff, extra utensils and mess kits, power banks and solar chargers, emergency blankets, copies of important documents, and cash and small bills. You now have everything you need to build an emergency kit that actually works. Don't wait for the next disaster. Start today. Check the description for our complete checklist. Subscribe to Crisis Horizon for more actionable safety content. And remember, preparedness isn't paranoia, it's peace of mind.